Good morning, y'all.
Good morning.
And to all those folks in Cyberland, or what do we call it, the online world there, Zoom. Yeah, welcome. Welcome to Sunday morning. And the dance of life. Got my friend here. I don't know if I'll show this to the folks at home there. My friend Shiva, who's doing the dance of life. I'll talk about that a little bit more now in a minute, but I thought of a great song. Anybody fans of Leon Womack? Know who that is? Good. Then you won't know. Anyway, this is a great song. It's about 15 years ago or something this came out. 2008, I think it was. That's what, 17 years ago. And my friend Michael Krieger introduced me to this song, and it's really a good one, I think, anyway. So I hope you like it. I hope you never lose your sense of wonder. Get your fill to eat, but always keep that hunger. May you never take one single breath for granted. God forgive, love ever leave you empty-handed. I hope you still feel small when you stand beside the ocean. Whenever one door closes, I hope one more opens. Promise me that you'll give fate the fighting chance. And when you get the choice to sit it out or dance, I hope you dance. I hope you dance. I hope you never fear those mountains in the distance. Never settle for the path of least resistance. Living might mean taking chances, but they're worth taking. Love might be a mistake, but it's worth making. Don't let some hell-bent heart leave you bitter. When you come close to selling out, reconsider. Give the heavens above just more than just a passing glance. And when you get the choice to sit it out or dance, I hope you dance. I hope you dance. I hope you dance. I hope you dance. I hope you still feel small when you stand beside the ocean. Whenever one door closes, I hope one more opens. Promise me that you'll give fate the fighting chance. And when you get the choice to sit it out or dance, dance. Hope you dance. I hope you dance. I hope you dance. I hope you dance. I hope you dance. What does that mean? You know, we're dancing the dance of life. Right? If you the Eastern philosophy of Maya, that all is an illusion, and we are creating the world as we see it. We talked a little bit about the Course in Miracles this morning, and talks about projecting out onto this blank screen of existence, right? And in unity, we know that there is only one presence and one power, one infinite spirit of light and of love, and that as I mentioned, Eric Butterworth earlier today, longtime unity minister, one of the most prolific unity writers, who once said that life has no meaning, but we bring meaning to life. right? That this life is a blank sheet of paper that we get to write on our existence. We get to write on it what we dream and what we desire and what we wish, and to express that, right? We don't have to live by other people's examples or other people's desires, but our own heart's desires. Learn to dance through life. I was thinking this story that one of my colleagues, the minister church out in Arizona, shared an experience he had where he came up with this great idea for a fundraiser, right? How to raise some money. He said he had at the end of the service, he said, "Okay, here's what we're going to do. Whoever puts the largest check into the offering basket when it goes around today will be able to select 3 hymns, right? 3 hymns." And so the basket went around, and he looked at it, and there's this huge check, $1,000 check that this woman had put in the basket. And he invited her up. This little old lady comes up to the front and says, "Okay, I'd like you to, go ahead and pick 3 hymns." And she goes, "I'll take him and him and him." Funny how we do with words there, isn't it? Yeah. I'll take him and him and him. This divine dance that we are participating in. I brought Shiva up here. Shiva is one of the main gods in the pantheon of gods. There's 3 main gods in the Hindu religion. And we'll talk a little bit more about that in a minute. But he's doing the dance of life, as you can kind of see. This posture actually has 4 arms, which I haven't quite figured that one out yet. And dancing upon the demon, right? He doesn't destroy demons. He doesn't get rid of them, but dances upon them. Think of the demons in your life. What things are bothering you today, right? Does it have something to do with relationships with other people? It has to do with bodily relationships. It has relationships with finances, our relationships with the future. It's all about relationships, right? And it's all about healing. Healing our relationships, healing our relationship with money, healing our relationship with our body, healing our relationships with other people, right? It's all about healing. It's all about harmony. Shiva doing the dance of life. I wanted to, I guess that's where I'm starting, isn't it? The dance of life. He's on the back of the demon. And it's kind of funny because I don't know how many of you saw the movie Oppenheimer. Y'all know who Oppenheimer is. I didn't see the movie either, but I know they make a big deal about his quote that he says, "I am death." Let me read it here. "I am become death, the destroyer of worlds." And something I didn't really realize until after the movie, and I kind of looked that up, and I realized what he was quoting from the Bhagavad Gita. Let me try that again. Bhagavad Gita. And here's a copy that I purchased in, where were we? We were in Srinagar. That's right, we're in Srinagar, Kashmir. My wife and I, when we graduated from the ministerial program, seminary back at Unity School in '88, we decided to take a trip through India. We were going to go to Germany to visit a gal who stayed with us while we were at school, and then our classmates, we were going to go with some classmates. They said, let's go to India. Then they decided not to go, but we went ahead and went anyway. We visited Mother Teresa's home for the destitute and dying in Calcutta, and then we went up to Srinagar. And then from Srinagar, we went up to Leh Ladakh. And in the back of my book here, I've got 2888, which that's in American, we would say 8288, but I wrote in 2888 because I was in India. And I was speaking to, in Leh Ladakh, a Buddhist monk, Tibetan Buddhist monk, and his name was Lodai Gyatso. Lodai Gyatso. I tried writing him, and I didn't get any response, but so he's out there somewhere, I hope. And I got a quote in here from him. It says, "First step in teaching meditation. Nothing is permanent. Everything is all the same." Nothing is permanent. Everything is all the same. Mark's a busy guy today. He's had lots of texts coming in. First step in teaching meditation. Nothing is permanent. Everything is all the same. We are the ones that decide whether we like it or not. We are the ones that decide whether we want to participate or not. We are the ones who decide whether it's good or bad or right or wrong. We are the ones that make those decisions. Life is. And we are the ones that are doing the dance. We are the ones that are participating in this dance of right and wrong and good and evil and yes and no and do. Right? We're doing the dance. We want to choose what dance we're dancing, though, don't we? The dance of life, to choose what dance we're dancing, the dance of good, the dance of evil. You know what? One of the things that I was thinking about, I love to go to the Bible. The Bible's a great one. We have that little Bible metaphysics, metaphysical living group that's been meeting downstairs the last couple of months, and before service at 10 o'clock, and we've been having some great conversations. It was hard to tear myself away at 10:45 this morning, but here I am. So there's so much value to be found in the Bible when we stop taking it literally, right, and start taking it metaphysically. Start realizing, well, how does this relate to me in my life? In the book of Judges, anybody familiar with the book of Judges? It falls just before the Psalm and the book of Kings and the book of Samuel. The books of Samuel and Kings. It's before they had a king. A little bit of his history. They escape the captivity in Egypt. Moses leads them into the Holy Land. Joshua leads to the Holy Land. Joshua leads them into the Holy Land. And then after Joshua passes away, they just have these 12 tribes living in 12 different areas. And they're pretty much just doing their own thing. But the book of Judges, we have 12 judges and a king who comes forth. We have Gideon and Deborah and Samson are probably three that are most recognized, I guess. We know about Samson and Delilah and all that fun that was going on there. And Deborah was the one female, and she was quite successful. And Gideon, and it's trumpets, right? Gideon's trumpets, and they're blowing the trumpets and conquering all those wonderful things. But there's a common element. So looking past the details, right? Looking at the forest and stop looking. We can get caught up in the trees. And sometimes it's great to just take a step back and look at the forest. And all of these stories, there's a common elements that come through. There's a common theme. And what's that common theme? Well, the people, they're doing well. Life is good. But then they start going after other gods. Baal is the big one, B-A-A-L, right? Elijah has a great fun with the Baalist priests. That's another story. They start following after Baal and some of these other gods of the local indigenous people because, they're intermarrying, and so they kind of forget. And then what happens when they start following other gods? Stuff happens, right? They become subject to the peoples there, and then what happens? So that's the second step. The third step is then that God brings forth a leader. Whether it be Gideon or Amalek or all these other guys that are in there, and brings us back to God. Brings us back to celebrating God, honoring the commandments and all that sort of thing, putting away the old gods. And then what happens? Well, life is good again. And then what happens? They stop following God and they start following these other gods, and things go to heck and a handbasket, and then another leader is called forward, and that happens 12 times in the book of Judges. You think you'd get a clue after a while, right? You think you would get a clue, but look at our lives. How often have we chased after careers, after love life, after whatever it is that we're, money, all these other gods that we put before our relationship to the ultimate, infinite, unlimited, eternal existence that we call God. Good orderly direction is how I think of it. When I stop following the good path and start going off on my own and start chasing after other gods, money, prestige, etc., stuff happens, right? Stuff happens and then we remember, oh yeah, we've got to put God first, good orderly direction first. What's the right thing for me to do in this now moment? That's my question. What's the right thing for me to do in this now moment? I have to keep answering that for myself. The book of Judges brings us back to our friend Shiva, actually not Shiva, but Krishna, who is a avatar of one of the other gods in the pantheon there, Vishnu. An avatar means another life or another expression of, right? You know, some of you may have avatars. You're in game world. If you're in the gaming world, you have an avatar. Or you might have seen the movie Avatar, right? Where the guy goes into this cocoon sort of experience and then was able to transfer his consciousness into another body and exists outside of his physical body in this other body, so to speak. And that's what an avatar is. And so Krishna is an avatar of Vishnu. And in the book, the Bhagavad Gita, I brought that up earlier, the Bhagavad Gita, and I brought up Oppenheimer. And the quote from Oppenheimer, which comes from the 11th teaching in the book of the Bhagavad Gita. And the Bhagavad Gita, basically, it's Arjuna, who's a prince, if you will, and he's being called into battle once again. And he's out, and he rides out into the middle, in between the two forces, and he looks across the way and he says, and he's talking to his charioteer, who we find out is Krishna. He didn't realize it at the time, but he found out later, that he looks across the way and he sees his brothers and his uncles and his, cousins, and he looks back behind it at the side that he's on, and it's his brothers and his uncles and his cousins, and he goes, why am I out here doing this? This doesn't make any sense to me. And the basic lesson comes through, I think, in this paragraph that Oppenheimer was quoting, although it's a different version, and I will read what's in this particular version, which is similar. And Lord Krishna is speaking. He says, I am time grown old, creating world destruction, set in motion to annihilate the world. Annihilate. What's that word? Annihilate? Annihilate. Set in motion to annihilate the worlds. Even without you, all these warriors, arrayed in hostile ranks, will cease to exist. And the basic message, all these people, all of you, I, will cease to exist. We know that, right? We're here now in this place and in this time. And we have an opportunity to live our life. We also have to recognize that it will come to an end and something else will happen. So yes, it's all encompassing, all important to us, and the importance is mitigated by the fact that this will pass. It came to pass, right? It's one of my favorite verses from the Bible where it says, it came to pass that such and such happened, right? It came to pass. It didn't come to stay. It came to pass. So whatever you're going through, whatever we're going through, health challenges, relationship challenges, financial challenges, maybe we don't know what looking for guidance, direction, protection, whatever it is that is challenging us right now, just know that challenge will pass. It came to pass. It didn't come to stay. And when we remember God, when we remember good orderly direction, when we looked beyond ourselves, our own selfish self-interest and our own individual power, then we begin to see beyond the appearances of lack and limitation, beyond the appearances of sickness and disease, beyond the appearances of poverty, lack and limitation, beyond the appearances of whatever it is, that there is a greater reality, and that we are just dancing the dance of life. And it's our opportunity to remember, to wake up, right? To become a bodhisattva, become an illumined one, an awakened one, an enlightened one. And that's our potential, and that's our possibility right now. That's the dance of life that I invite you to participate in. I wanted to share from Charles Fillmore, and co-founder of Unity. I've been working with his book, Talks on Truth. this year. And I'm in the 5th chapter for the 5th month here, right? And we're talking about divine love this month. Divine love, my affirmation that we're going to use here in a minute. And if I could ask Betsy here to help me with this, figure out what I did with them. What did I do with them? Sorry about that. No, I put them in there. That's what I put underneath. They got underneath the wires. There they are. Thank you. All right. I'll tell you, I got it all together this morning, and then I forgot where I put it. So our affirmation, God is love. Divine loves draw to me all I need and desire. I am loved and loving. Charles Fillmore talks about this divine love. And he calls it, he says, love is the drawing power of mind. You ever heard that before? The drawing power of mind? It is the magnet of the universe. About it may be clustered all the attributes of being by one who thinks in divine order. Love is a magnet. It's another song I was thinking about. Love is a magnet that draws to me riches and whatever without end. That's another good old song. It is a divine magnet that draws to us. I think of love really as that one power. God is the one power. God is love. That one power, infinite presence. It's the unified field. Any fans of Einstein? Albert Einstein, his the one thing that he when he died he was still trying to prove was that unified field theory, that they're taking all those 4 forces of nature, right? Gravity, electromagnetic, the weak and strong nuclear forces, and to combine them into one unified field theory. And it's really easy. It's love. Love. God is love, and those who abide in love abide in God, and God abides in them. That's the words of the Apostle John in his letter in 1 John 4:16. And I just got to remember love, to be love, that God is love. And I am an expression of that love. I am loved and loving. And that divine love draws to me, attracts to me, is a magnet for all that I need and desire. All that I need and desire. You notice I didn't put want in there, right? All that I need, that's to sustain me. And all that I desire, which to me means of the Father, that an experience of a greater reality, an infinite presence and power, which is God. So this is our affirmation here. God is love. Divine love draws to me all I need and desire. I am loved and loving. Together, God is love. Divine love draws to me all I need and desire. I am loved and loving. A second time, like we mean it together. God is love. Divine love draws to me all I need and desire. I am loved and loving. And a third time, soft and with deep meaning, God is love. Divine love draws to me all I need and desire. I am loved and loving. And so it is.